Alright guys, today I'm going to do a video on the Sawyer Mini Squeeze. I love that filter. It's a filter that I've been using for some time now. And the box you see in front of me is kind of a family pack box or like a gift type box. It's kind of nice because it has the different colors, the blue, green, orange, and pink. The price for this box right now on Amazon is $67.51, which breaks it down to, got it written down over here, $16.89 a piece. That's just ridiculous, guys. Really good price for it, for a high quality filter. I love this filter. Its ability to be able to be backwashed in the field easily is a huge plus for me. I've had to use that quite often. Yeah, we'll go ahead and open up this box here. So we'll just see what you get in this box. From the looks of it so far, what you get is actually 4 individually wrapped packages. The only difference is one comes pink, one comes orange. That's pretty cool. And you can actually order these individually online for these colors. Here's green. These are the only colors I know. There's like a black one, I think it is, or carbon fiber. So you can get the blue one at Walmart right now for like 20 bucks. Or if you want to buy it individually online on Amazon, it's going for $19.31 at the time of this video, obviously, with free shipping. And this was free shipping for this package that I got here also. So I found with these bladders, a lot of times, or this squeeze pouch, a lot of times if you take and just kind of shake it, it'll force some bubbles out and then water come back in. And then that last swoop, just kind of swoop upwards. Then go ahead and stick it on. So make sure you have it on a nice steady base. Sand helps a lot, or really loose rocks, that kind of helps a lot. If it's the first time I'm using the filter in the day, a lot of times I like to go ahead and squirt out just a little bit of water. Then go ahead and fill it up. One of the neat things about this filter is it's lightweight. The only downside I've found is when you purchase it, it comes with a 16-ounce bladder or pouch. And for me, just grabbing a 32-ounce, and I think they even make a 64-ounce, which I honestly wish that's what I had. I kind of found that 16-ounce, it's so hard to get water to go in it, and you're switching back and forth to fill things up so much. It's definitely worth buying a bigger pouch. Plus, one pouch of this pretty much fills up one of these 32-ounce bottles. Saves a lot of time. So I just fold the top down like such. Another neat thing I've found is you can actually take this here, the Sawyer Mini, even with the pouch. I usually put a rubber band around it and it'll fit right down inside of the bottle. Just another cool feature. Nice wide mouth. As I said before, with the Sawyer Squeeze, having a bigger bladder with this Mini is very, very nice. This is a recent purchase that I've done. This is actually their 64-ounce bag, as you can see there. And I really, really do like having this bigger bag. It makes it easier, honestly, to get the water into it. You can never really fill these up completely unless you have some kind of funnel. And having the bigger bag doesn't really weigh much of anything. So I carry 2 of these in my pack. This is how I store my Sawyer Mini when I'm out camping or backpacking. I usually have at least a Ziploc baggie. In this case, a large gallon-sized Ziploc baggie. This is where I keep the big bags in, and it seems to fit just perfectly in there. These are the 64-ounce bags. I use a rubber band, and I keep it looped around the top of it here. This helps keep it together, and I store 2 bags because these are definitely, I have not actually busted one myself, but from what I understand, these bags are not meant to last forever. So I keep 2 of them. One's a backup, and it's also an opportunity for me to store water if I need to. If the water's going to be a ways away, I'm going to set up camp. So I have 2 bags. On the bottom of the bags they have these indentions you can punch holes in, and that will not compromise the actual bag itself. That makes it nice, so if you want to hang it and use it as a gravity fed filter, you can do it that way. It has some great explanation on how to backwash your filter and for storage. And on this side it tells you how to use it. So this just makes it very, very simple, really easy to do. So I use that for that, and I usually will keep a separate baggie for the actual components that I need to keep clean. I don't want any real dirty water getting into this area. I want this to be separate. This is what I call my clean bag. This is what I keep the cleaning plunger in, and I always take that with me, along with obviously the filter and the straw. I keep the straw in there even though I don't really normally use this, just in case there is just a small water hole I need to take a sip out of. I have seen times where that would have been very handy if I needed to, but I just haven't had to yet. This is personally how I clean all of my water filters, but it states directly on the bag to fill it up with water, take a cap full of bleach and put into it, let it stand for an hour, and dump the water out of the bag and let air dry. I go ahead and fill up the sink to a desired level, enough to at least submerge all the components that I plan on cleaning, and put enough bleach in there that I can smell the bleach in the water. Now that we've got our bleach mixture, all I do is go ahead and take the components, separating them as much as possible, even including the plunger. Filter, taking the cap off. I usually shake everything, try to make sure any air bubbles that are in them are out. Take the lids off. These pouches, I usually will blow them up, like I do in the field, to fill them up. And we go ahead and fill those with water also. Honestly, can't remember which pouch I used, so I just go ahead and do them both to be safe. Of course, you don't want to get this bleach water on you or your clothes. I say you, I mean more like your clothes, so you don't bleach your clothes out. But I'll let that sit there for a while and come back to it. If I'm going to save any of these baggies that I've used to actually store them in, those will also get put in the water, like I'm doing this time. Before you walk off and let this set, you're going to want to go ahead and take the filter itself. Now you can see the flow direction that the water is meant to flow from your bag out through your mouth. you want to backflow this thing. So I just go ahead and flow it into the bleach water. Now when you do this, and even in the field, you want to make sure that the first time that you do it, the first time you back flush it, that you do it basically with the hard, even pressure. I don't want to say as hard as you can, but basically as hard as you can. Make sure you keep this nozzle pressed firmly into the tip here so it's not out spraying on you. And the reasoning for that is if you do it all at once, one hard, even flow, you'll open up all the pores in there instead of just one little cavity for the water to flow through. Kind of like if you were to turn on a garden hose and just have a little trickle. It'll just leave a little path, but if you just let it gush, it'll just open up a big cavity in the ground. So the first time you do it, like I said, as hard as you can do it. I usually will do this twice before I let it sit. This will help out with flow also for the next time that you go to use it. One thing you should expect when using this product is the first time you get it wet, it won't actually flow as good as you would like it to. So the more it gets wet, the better it works. I've never had any issue with it. It works great. Now that we've had some time for this to sit, we're going to go ahead and rinse it off. The way I do it is I just have another tub with some clean water, no bleach. Usually we'll rinse the product off and then I'll just set it up into my drying towel. Do that with all these products. Including these Ziploc baggies. Now the Ziploc baggies are hard to dry out. One way you can help that out is to go ahead, once you've rinsed them off, stick them on top of a cup that you may have. That will hold them open, and obviously leave them upside down like such. That way it can get complete airflow. These bags here, I go ahead and blow them up, and then I store them upside down, and usually lean these up against my backsplash and let these dry for literally days. Sometimes I'll let it sit there for a week, as long as my wife will let me. Now with the filter itself, I don't know, I'm not real exactly picky on it, but I usually will run the water through again. Sometimes I'll run it through both directions just to make sure. I want to make sure this filter is as clean as I can get it now, because it's a little bit harder to do it out in the field. You can see really how much flow these filters actually can produce, because you can almost get the same amount of pressure from this syringe as you can one of the bags. Now after I've done that with the bleach water, I'm going to go ahead and take and clean it out with my fresh water. Now this is the part that I may do differently from what Sawyer says. I just don't want that bleach flavor left in my filter. Not going to hurt you. It all dries out. So once I've flowed water through it, I go ahead and pump this up with air, and I try to push out as much water as I can with the air, because I want it to be able to dry out faster or easier. Now while it's sitting on the counter, this is one thing that I definitely leave for about a week before I'll put it completely up, is I leave this cap off of it and just let it sit there to dry out from the air. Go ahead and shake out any water you can. Any water you get out now just means it'll dry faster. Go ahead when you're done, rinse your hands off, get that bleach off of there. That bleach will dry out your hands. So you may want to do a little bit of lotion. So one thing I forgot to mention, if you guys plan on using this in any type of temperatures that would be freezing, it's a really, really good idea to keep it in that plastic baggie and keep it in one of your pockets somewhere close to your body. That even includes when you're sleeping in your sleeping bag. You want to go ahead and take it in there with you because you do not want it to freeze. Once you suspected it to freeze, you might as well throw it away because there's no real way of knowing whether it is damaged or not. For 20 bucks, it's not worth the risk. Hope you guys liked that video on how I use, store, and love my Sawyer Mini. You can use that on all the other Sawyer products basically, such as the larger Sawyer Squeeze or their bottle that they sell. You can find those at Walmart or Amazon. Price is best usually on Amazon, and I'll put some links in the bottom down there for you. See you guys around. Hope you guys liked that little video on how I use and store my Sawyer Squeeze and how you can get another one or get one. That sounded stupid. Let me redo that. Hope you guys liked that little video on how I don't know how to do this.